Hi guys, here we have just about to eat a hospital hotshot chicken parmesan. Um, I've got this from the local cafeteria at the hospital, and it cost me about £5 odd. And people say that they don't like hospital food. Well, those of you that know what a Parmo is, how many hospitals do you know that do Parmos? Not many, is there? So a Parmo, for those who don't know, is chicken and breadcrumbs with bechamel sauce and cheese over the top. And it was introduced to the northeast by an Italian fella in the 60s, and it really caught on in the 80s and 90s, and it's a northeast delicacy really. They've started doing them in other areas now, like Yorkshire and whatnot, but yeah, it's really a northeast staple. I like them, and this one's very good, judging by the first mouthful. Probably needed more sauce. It's a bit dry, but not too dry. Chili the cat wants some, so she's having this bit. Look, there you go, Chili. She's that. And everybody's been saying to me, "Oh, Mr. Wheelie Pete, do a video where we can see you eating." Well, you can see me eating now, can't you? I'm just a fat bloke in a wheelchair enjoying a Parmo. I mean, as I said, hospital food's bad enough, but this is decent. I also got some passion cake, which is a variant of carrot cake, which I'm going to have later. But it's at Eros Cafe at North Tees Hospital, and as I keep saying, very, very reasonable. Most of them Eros chains they don't have your trousers down and don't take the piss. And everything's going up and up, isn't it? So you want good value for money. Mind you, I could have done without paying the bloody taxi there. £10 each way for a wheelchair cab, and the hospital's only about 2.5 miles away. I mean, Asian drivers and Paki drivers are reliable, but they always tend to charge that bit more, don't they? Because they know they can get away with it. They're always working, you see, and they know that you need one. And when they know you need one, they've got you by the balls. I'm not racist, but I'm right-wing. And I'm right-wing because of society, the way society is. You see, you try and treat everyone with the same level of respect and decency and kindness and fairness, but what do you get back in return? Nothing. Like today, I was getting on the bus. This woman with a walking stick just walked straight in front of us to get past. My mother nearly decked her. I mean, I face adversity on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Like, today, for example, nice day outside. I was going to start my day off by going to the gym in my electric wheelchair, which I can do on my own independently. What happens when I get halfway down my pathway? One of the motors on my electric wheelchair blows. And because I bought my own electric wheelchair, can't get it fixed on the NHS, and plus, I mean, I didn't pay that much for it, so it's worth my while to get another one, sort of second-hand one at a reasonable price, which I've done for years now. Buy them, use them, throw them away, buy another one, use that, throw it away. It's much better than relying on the NHS, and waiting for them to come out and repair one. That leaves you without a wheelchair, doesn't it? So, but I've been looking at another one, and hopefully I'll have that by next week. But it isn't half a choker when things like that go wrong. Yeah, one of my motors burnt out, and I was going around in circles. I thought something was stuck in my back wheel, but obviously not. So I get helped in by the manager's mum, and I'm sat in the chair, phoned me mum for her to come, and she was still in the area, so she come back. And as I'm sat in the chair, I can smell something, and it's the bloody motor burning. So glad I got out of it when I did, otherwise I might have blew up. While I'm here as well, I just want to give a mention to the NHS staff at North Tees Hospital. They've been looking after my auntie for about 4 weeks now, maybe just a little bit over, and they've actually done a fantastic job. When she first went into hospital with the respiratory infection and double pneumonia, she was at death's door, and they've got her, talking again and alert again, and the care that they give is absolutely fantastic. It's second to none, and they do it on a time constraint, limited budget, and obviously if these strikes go ahead with the trains and whatnot like they have been, if they carry on that way, then you just imagine all the critical workers that are going to be stranded and can't get to and from work. It's a bloody NHS, for Christ's sake, the cornerstone of the country. Why can't the unions see that before they start moaning about workload and pay and being unable to negotiate? I'm Labour. I've been since I was 16. But you have to take a hard line. I know that workload and pay, as I've just said, and I sympathise. And I know they've been negotiating for a while, and I know conditions at people's work aren't how they'd like them to be, but Jesus Christ, sympathise with the key workers, your NHS staff, your carers, your domiciliary carers that go into people's homes, your surgeons who perform cancer surgery and heart surgery. Jesus Christ, all them that are stuck. You know what I mean? And not to mention the cost to the environment, because the congestion on the roads, petrol prices are already high and they're getting higher and higher. on a daily basis. That's why we should have a windfall tax. Because let's face it, Shell, BP, and all the other big oil giants, especially the Middle East ones, they've already got more money than they know what to do with. So why not have a windfall tax? You know, the money's there. It's bloody surplus. I'll tell you something else as well. When the second lockdown happened and the petrol price dropped, they were getting that crude oil for, well, it worked out at about 40-50 pence a litre, which translated roughly to about $80 per barrel. And what they've done, they've stockpiled petrol and crude oil at that price, and instead of passing the discount on to the consumer, what have they done? They've inflated petrol prices. Now that's to make you make the greener choice and get the electric car. But for most people, the electric car's out of reach anyway. It's too expensive. I mean, you could see an electric car on the forecourt one day and think, oh, I'll save up and buy that. So you've saved up a certain amount, and 2 years down the line, you go back to that forecourt looking for a similar model or the same model car, and it's £2 more expensive. Can't buy it then, can you? I mean, they're putting all these electric chargers in everywhere, and they don't know how they're going to bill you or what they're going to bill you for. So are they going to bill you for the amount of kilowatts or the amount of time it takes to charge your car or the amount of, you know, kilowatts you use, or is it based on the size of your main battery of your car? You know, like an engine's a 1.6, maybe a car will go by the amount of kilowattage or horsepower that the main battery produces. I don't know. And when Boris Johnson was questioned by them MPs, and they asked him, well, how are you going to, you know, implement a system where you charge for the consumption of, or the use of the chargers that you're installing, he hadn't yet thought of a way for that. He left it up to his Chancellor. It was obviously no longer Sunak. So the Iranian refugee, who's now Chancellor of the Exchequer, will have to come up with a ingenious way of ripping everybody off to use these bloody electric chargers. I mean, we've had all electric before, haven't we? I mean, most of us weren't around. I certainly wasn't around, but in the 50s, and you had like them invalid carriages, didn't you? Them like mobility cars, and they were like a single-seater car with a load of batteries in, and they were on the road for years. And as a matter of fact, I've just seen one sold at Matheson's auctions, and yeah, they were good, but obviously they didn't catch on, and this won't catch on, because we'll have to go to a different type of maybe fuel or another sort of chemical that we're burning. I mean, I know they're gonna use lithium ion and copper extracts for batteries and whatnot, and and that probably will work for a short while, but I don't think you'd be able to do really high mileage. You would have to plan your journey, because obviously if you need to go from one side of the country to the other and back again in a day, so, and I'm saying a day is maybe a 16-hour period, because you need 8 hours sleep. You can do that now in a petrol car, because you can refuel. You can't refuel an electric car because it takes too long to recharge, and there might not be a charging point where you are. At least with a petrol car, you do 350 mile. You can fill up after you've done the first 350 and do another 350. Mind you, not at these prices you won't. Jesus Christ. But this is what happens when you've got governments that just constantly infight, and they've got no plan, Boris Johnson got to the top by teaching everybody else in his party silly little lessons because he knew he was popular. What a liar and a bigot that man is. Just a liar. Everything he says is a lie. Then the likes of me, on disability benefit, I would love to work, but I can't really for my condition. My condition's too debilitating, and obviously I've got too much physical pain to hold a 9-to-5 job down. But I would work. But what happens to me? I can't even get the high rate money, disability money, and there's drug addicts, alcoholics and whatnot, robbing people, sleeping rough on the streets, begging on the streets and whatnot, and they're getting more than me. And you know what? They get more because they're a drug addict, an alcoholic. I don't do drugs. I like to work out to keep my physical pain at bay. And what do you get in return? Just labelled by the government. I'm well educated as well. I'm not university educated, but I'm college equivalent. I've got 3 extended BTECs, which translates to 9 A-levels. So, what can you do? If I could work, or if I got the right job, I'd be on about 4 or 5 grand a month, me. But say you're in a wheelchair and they won't give you the job. That's what it is. It's society. And you can say what you want. I've got disabled friends who work, and good for them, they work. But they're tired every day, they're all painful, they're worried about the bills and the money and everything. There are people on benefits taking the piss, but the days of people raking it in on benefits are over. And that's what this bloody government's done. It's penalised the wrong people like myself. And, it's let people who were already raking in thousands upon thousands with social security and child benefit and whatnot, they can carry on because they keep dropping kids, and they can just have more kids, and they groom the sons and the daughters to have one when they turn 16. And one woman in the cafe where I go, she said to her daughter, she said, "Don't you find work?" She said, I want you on benefits, it's done me no harm. Now that was a woman of about 70 odd. And she's telling a daughter and a granddaughter to stay on benefits. Bloody disgusting, isn't it? I mean, one thing you'd think to do is raise working people's benefits in line with inflation. That'll get your economy going. Fuck selling all these houses off, getting rid of all the social housing. That won't drive the economy. Just create homelessness and poverty, which will lead to robberies, more substance abuse. See, but the thing about these politicians, even the ones that aren't in power, one thing they will all never know is poverty. Because they've never experienced poverty and they never will, the money they make. You know what I mean? It's just all greed. And that's why they lie to us all. And people say, oh, these local councillors are raking it in. It's not your local councillors you need to be bothered about. It's your politicians like your Sunaks and your whatever you call that, Iraqi, what's his name? I forgot his name now. The new Chancellor. Zahawi, is it? See, they're all multi-millionaires and Sunak's nearly a billionaire when you combine his wife's net worth with his. And she didn't pay fucking tax, did she? Mm-hmm. See, so all your local councillors who are working 9 to 5, 6 days a week probably, earn the normal wage, even the Tory ones that do that. Had Sunak's gone in and said, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to cut taxes because they have to say they're going to cut tax because otherwise you're not a Tory. If you don't make cutting tax part of your manifesto, you're not a Tory. So they've all gone into these local councillors when the leadership contest was going on. And they've said, I'm going to cut taxes, I'm going to cut taxes, I'm going to cut taxes as well. So, them councillors know that Sunak has got millions upon millions. They know that Zahawi's got millions upon millions. And they won't like that. You know what I mean? I mean, as I said before, they do your 6 day a week, 9 to 5 job. You know, they're on a good wage, but they haven't got millions and millions of pounds in the bank. And they don't like wealth, even in their own party, because they want some of it, you see. They all want a slice of the same big pie. That's why the Tories like all these big donations from your jammy Arabs and your sheikhs, just like Prince Charlie. He's accepted cash from Prince Charlie. And when you think, you know, the royal family, for example, I mean, I love Queen Elizabeth. I think she's been a fantastic queen. I think she's steered us through a lot of scandal and whatnot. Mostly her own family scandal with pedo Prince Andrew and, as I said, Prince Charlie accepting cash from wealthy sheikhs. But is there any need for all the scandal? You know what I mean? I mean, the Dutch royal family are the same. You know, the Dutch royal family have the most expenses bill in the whole of Europe. So the Dutch royal family costs more than even our royal family, and our country is 4 times the size of the Netherlands. So that's King William Alexander. He just wants to tighten his own belt so that everybody else in Holland can, profit or benefit from something. Because they've got the same problem as over here now. Cost of living's going higher there. I know, because I have family there. Cost of living, they've got inflation, which has caused the cost of living crisis, just like over here. But you see, their big company, their big food distributor, Unilever, that's putting 15 and 20% on everything it sells. So your food, your drinks, basically 80% of the stuff in the supermarket, even down to your Coca-Cola and whatnot, it's all getting 20 and 30 and 40% on. And the electric's going to go even higher. And obviously the fuel, they haven't just got the same crisis we have, but because they're a little country, they're going to bear the brunt of Germany and all the neighbouring countries around them. And they do have a rich economy and a stable economy, but none of that wealth has ever been passed back on to the citizens. So, in a way, I feel sorry for the Netherlands. Not as sorry as I feel for myself. I mean, you can't save a penny. Like I said before, they think people are raking it in on benefits, and we're not. I mean, how they come up with these stories of so-and-so's got X amount of hundreds of thousands of pounds in the bank and he's been on benefits all his life. Well, I fucking haven't got hundreds of thousands of pounds. I'm sat playing disability sport every fortnight. Play bocce, which is like a disabled version of bowls. I like that. But the bloody taxi fare is through the roof now. So I'm now looking at having to get a hotel just to go to Durham, which is 30 miles away from me. And obviously I've got public transport to pay for as well. And it's all not on. I mean, they give us all this cost of living payment. And it was 320 odd quid to give us. But your electricity is costing £3,000 a year. What's fucking 326 quid gonna do? Bloody swizz it is. You know what I mean? I mean, like I said, just raise disability benefits in line with inflation. Problem solved. Over and out. Finito. But no, they won't do that. They'll leave poor bastards like me and every other disabled person who isn't an alcoholic or a drug addict or a thief or whatnot. They'll leave us all to struggle and pay your heroin addicts and your junkies and your cokeheads and whatnot. They'll pay them even more money because there'll be some premium that you can't see. They'll get some premium that can't be seen. Like I said before, they always get a higher rate of benefit than anybody else. You go online, you can see the normal rates of benefit. And the taxpayer probably thinks, well, oh, I can live with that. You know, they don't get as much as I thought. But like I said before, when you've got any form of addiction, alcoholic, drug addict, whatever, even mental health issues, you get a bigger premium. You can't see them online, can you? You know, I mean, I suppose I'll just have to soldier on next to nothing. And it's getting cut down when this adult disability payment comes in. What about that? Jesus Christ almighty. I'm going to have to go begging on the bloody street now, because none of you are subscribing or, you know, getting interested in my videos, are you? Hopefully, you will start subscribing and liking these videos and watching these videos, and I can get monetized. You can make me become self-employed by being a YouTuber. You can make me as big as Logan Paul and Jake Paul. And for the money they make, which quite frankly is from posting a load of shit, you know, I mean, I'll even get in the ring in my wheelchair. I'll get in the boxing ring in my wheelchair, and I'll fight Logan Paul and Jake Paul on the same night. And you know what? At the end of the week, end of that same week, I'll even fight Floyd Mayweather in a wheelchair skills boxing match. I've said it before in one of my other videos, I'm saying it again now. If it makes money, I'll do it. The one thing I will not do is sell my body. I will not sell my body. There's no woman on this earth deserves my body, and she's not getting it for any amount of money. There's no amount of money that would make me prostitute myself. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you on the next one.